Hi, Nicole here. Uh, I don't feel well. I have COVID. I contracted COVID. So now you get to see a different part of my house because I needed a change of scenery. Um, and I'm wearing pajamas. Oh, okay. I want to lie straight. But like, oh. Oh. Anyway, so I thought I'd pop on to make a video so I could document me having COVID. Um, I would say that okay, what over the last 2 weeks, the stress has been. Maybe I'll just make a really long one. Like I had an idea where I was like, what if I just tell my whole story, everything? But then I was like, well, there's problems with that because number one, do I really want to, and why? Number two, if I told my whole story, I would be throwing other people in that story under the bus because not there's lots of people who aren't innocent in my story, and I don't know, the way I see myself is kind of like a kind and innocent person for the most part, but my God, like you come into this earth and it just shake you around. It really do. And I feel like right now I'm like, okay, life is like a roller coaster and I'm on the part of the roller coaster where I'm coming up to the hill. I see a scary hill coming and I'm going up that hill and I'm like, whoa, this is really scary. And why did I get on this ride? And I thought I was more brave than I am right now, that I'm feeling in this moment. I mean, but too late because you're already on the roller coaster. So I guess you're about to get braver. Oh, I really liked roller coasters when I was little. I love them. They make me feel like I'm flying. Hey, so you want to see Toby? Toby, come here. Give me the ball. No, no, he doesn't. He wants chewing on. Okay, sorry, he won't come. So yeah, I think I have COVID because my lungs feel like they're bruised on the inside. Hold on, I just got a text message. Excuse me. Um, sorry about that. So but if I did tell you my story, it would be really long, and then this video would end up being a really long video. Um, let me roll over so I can address you. Oh, I can't. It takes so much energy. It's amazing, how much energy it is to move. You don't realize how much energy it is to move until you have to move, and then you're like, oh yeah, it took a lot of energy. Like when you're really sick and you're like, I can't even walk 10 feet. That's kind of how I feel right now. So I took the day off work, which is nice. And I think that oh man, I just feel really tired. Um, so I really am sick. Oh, lucky for you, germs don't go across the virtual realms, so I think you're safe. Oh, oh, look at my stripes. Can you tell I like stripes? Okay, so should I just tell my whole story? I wonder how quickly I could tell it. I don't. I don't really know. Uh, okay. Let me think. Let me think. Well, okay, maybe I'll just tell you what I've learned, and maybe I'll tell you the story some other time. I don't know. What I've learned about life is this. Um, it's there's something called logic, which things happen all from pretty much logic, which I don't really have a handle on. So basically, it's not that the world is people always say that the world's unfair. I mean, I guess the way we amass fortunes and how money moves can be thought of that way, but Like, I don't know, it's all resources and like there's things that happen that cause, well, number one, humans can be traumatized, and they think that they can be traumatized more easily than animals because animals like encounter traumatizing things all the time and seem to like be able to survive, maybe because they're more instinctual based, whereas humans have like this large cortex and they can like, I don't know what the difference is. Is it that we ruminate on things? I don't know. Uh, um, but like I find that like lots of stuff is out of our control because we live in like these giant cities and societies that form like one thing. And I think that living in a society is kind of like being a human, but like a really tame human. Like we don't need our instincts as much when we live in peaceful societies. Like I watched that hitchhiking, wielding homeless man, homeless wielding hitchhiking, the hitchhiking hatchet man documentary. It's and it's that guy Caleb Lawrence or what was his name, Caleb Kai, Kai. It was a viral video where he saved some woman from this guy that he was hitchhiking with who attacked her, who was kind of crazy. But anyways, 3 months later, after going viral and getting famous, he ended up murdering a lawyer in his house. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, like when you have that transient lifestyle, I think that your animal instincts come out more because humans really are animals. In fact, they're really, really dangerous animals. I mean, we're not the most strongest primate, but we're still primates, and primates are pretty scary. Like, they tell you don't get a pet monkey because it will rip your face off. Point being is that even the small monkeys are scary. Like like all primates, gorillas. I don't know. I never really paid attention to phylums and biology. It's not my jam. But like, man, oh man, like when you think about like the shadow side of yourself, part of that I think might be like your animal side, and I think that we are really, like, I learned this kind of the hard way, but like I'm way more influenced by my surroundings than I know. I'll give you an example. I used to be a nanny. I took care of this little baby. I loved her so much. She was 18 months when I started taking care of her. I really loved her so much. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it came time for me to quit because I got an engineering job and I needed to take it because I had a lot of student debt, as you guys know. And I couldn't afford to be a nanny, which sucked because I really, really liked being a nanny a lot. But I could not afford to be a nanny. I just couldn't. So, couldn't afford everything: car, gas, insurance, food, like rent, and whatever. Oh, phone, like all the bills. And then I could afford all that. Um, but then there was no money for my payments for my student debt. So if I didn't have student debt, I could be a nanny, which means that if I didn't go to school at all, I could have just been a nanny this whole time, which I don't know. Like, I'm glad I went to university, but holy hell, I'm like, I just want to be a nanny. Okay, so, anyways, regardless of my Mary Poppins realness experience, I got my hair cut one night and I made a joke to my hairdresser and I was like, I'm gonna cut that little baby's hair because she had a weird haircut that her mom did that kind of got a little bit fucked up. It's a classic mistake where she went too far with the bangs. But anyways, I was like, okay, I'm gonna fix her hair. And I was like, just joking, Belinda. Ha ha ha. I would never do that. It's not my kid. You can't cut someone else's kid's hair. And she's like, I'm glad you're saying that because you shouldn't, uh, without permission. And I was like, I would never do that. Ha ha ha. I'm just joking. And I was joking. But then the next day, I was in I was in their house and there are all these little brown hairs because the wife had cut her husband's hair in the kitchen, but then I guess they realized it was making a mess. So they moved to the bathroom. So I noticed the hairs in the kitchen. I cleaned it up, and then I went to the bathroom, and then there were more hairs, and I was like, wow. And I like realized I'm like, oh yeah, they moved to like yeah, right. But like then a little bit later, I don't know, like I was looking at the baby. She was looking at me, and then there were just these scissors just lying on the counter without even thinking. I like it was like being possessed. Without even thinking, I took those scissors and I snipped her bangs. I trimmed her bangs. I don't know. Like I had immediate regret when I did that. So I think that like why I did it, like I just did it so quick. Like there was no thought. Like the thought must enter my mind so quick that like I just freaking did it. Like I didn't think. I just like scissors there, sit, and oh, I had such regret. I'm like, that's so rude. And I love these people. Like, not only did I love the baby, I also loved her family. Like, I love these people. I wouldn't want to do anything to disrespect them, but I did cut her hair. I don't know. I've thought a lot about that. And, anyways, I think I'm way more in. And then there's another second story, which is that when I was in midwifery, I had been awake for like 24 hours and I was super hungry and I could feel my blood sugar was so low. I was like, you know, when you get real exhausted because your blood sugar is so low and you're like, oh, I'm fucking dying, but I am powering through this. And anyways, so this woman was um she had been like having a rough labor and was really scared, which is not ideal. You want to kind of go in with as little fear as you possibly can have while in labor. Well, better easier said than done because it hurts. Not that I know, but from my own experience, but from what I've seen, yeah, it's no joke. And so, anyways, this woman was like, my preceptor. That preceptor is just a word for teacher, like the midwife who was supposed to teach me how to be a midwife. She was a year older than me. Ugh, we did not get along. She did not like me, and I can't say I really liked her either. We're just not compatible personalities, and um, anyways, so she by Toby. Anyway, she had told the client while in labor, like, "Oh, you're the baby's here. Oh my god!" But really, I saw that what was like what she thought it wasn't a baby. It was way too soon. And like, imagine like being in labor and thinking like, "Oh, finally the baby's coming out." Like 20 hours in. No, she had like 4 more hours to go. And so fast forward 4 hours. So like that was I think embarrassing for my preceptor to have told her that because like it is kind of disheartening to like think that it's about to happen and then it's not. Anyway, so then when it was happening and she was pushing, what you gotta do when you're pushing a baby out is like you have to kind of hold your breath. Like you push with the contraction so that like you get maximum effects and maximum efficiency and like the power of pushing the baby out. And so it's like like that, right? And then like if you need to take more air in, you just suck in more air. You don't breathe out. You just kind of like right? Like you just like like that, right? Oh god, I probably shouldn't do that because my lungs are super tired. Oh crap, now they kind of hurt. Okay, so anyways, um, so then, um, well, this isn't what the one was doing. She was kind of doing like a deep breathing, like but that's no good because like you need the pressure, the internal pressure to like be going down, right? And when you're deep breathing, that's not happening. So, um, my preceptor was like, breathe properly, and she's saying it just like this to this woman who's in labor. Oh, she wasn't the most emotionally intelligent person I ever met in my life. I'll tell you that. And of course, the client starts crying and is like, I don't know how to breathe. And then she starts hyperventilating and she's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And she like repeated this several times. Well, I'd been awake so long. I was so hungry. And I would say that emotionally I'm sensitive to like, I'm a sensitive person. I just am. And so I said her name and I said, you just gotta breathe as though you're taking a hit of something good. And I said it kind of cool like that too. It just came out. Like, again, one of these things, I did not think about it. I didn't pause. Like, it just came out of my mouth. And again, I had immediate regret, although everyone laughed except my preceptor. And then it worked. She started breathing properly, and because she laughed. And um, the baby's head came like further down because like when your whole body, like when you laugh, like you know, your whole body relaxes, and it just yeah. However, that like in that moment, I sacrificed my midwifery career. I really did because my preceptor started recording everything I said after that and like really, really didn't like me and then wrote a letter and sent it to the dean of midwifery. And then the dean was like, "You're gonna get expelled," but in that letter was a lot of lies. Anyways, I didn't get expelled from midwifery, but I don't want to go back. Like that's how they treat me. Like, goddamn. you know I was like, I can't even afford to do this, and this was like really rough, and I don't like being on call, and then you treated me really awfully and lied. She said that I did all these things that I didn't do in the letter, and then the response from the school was to expel me, and then I was like, I don't think so. So I wrote my own letter explaining my side of the story, and I sent it to the dean's boss. So needless to say, I did not get expelled, thank God. But I really don't think that I want to be a midwife. Like, damage done. So, yeah. But the point of telling you that story was to let you know that I'm really influenced by what happens around me. And I think in that case, it was like, being hungry, being tired, and then having this woman being hysterical and seeing nobody was supporting her. Oh, Toby, don't bite the mama. Don't bite the mama. Don't bite the mama. So, yeah, I just like, I guess I'm not cut out to be a midwife. I don't know. I was really good though. Like people said that they really liked when I was in their at their birth. From all the people that I got positive feedback there. It was like there's another woman who, oh, she was really hysterical and having like I don't know, one of the most hysterical people I've ever seen in my life. And I my preceptor, the same woman, was like, "I told you that we shouldn't come to the hospital. Now you just have to go home." And she kind of said it like that, and then the woman got hysterical because she didn't want to go home. And I don't know, from one highly sensitive person to another, I get it. Like I think sensitive people let their emotions go, and can like feel them really intensely. And I think other people who are less sensitive, it's not that like some people don't get this, but like I think that sensitive people are pretty strong and like will can withstand intense emotion. But like over the years I've kind of learned to control my emotions to some extent, so like I can back off. Like, I think everyone can do this. Like, when you feel yourself about to cry but it's not really a good time to cry, so you just take a deep breath and you suck it back in. Like when you feel a sob, you feel a sob coming out of your face, you just like suck it back in and you're like and then you're okay, and then you cry later when you can. um like a good example is like at a work meeting, you're not going to start sobbing in front of everyone. So like I didn't know that, like when I was little. I thought the emotions were just sort of like you feel them, and like I didn't repress jack shit. I didn't repress any of my emotions. I just was like time to feel it all. So like this person was definitely somewhere more like me, like somebody who can let their emotions get really intense. Um, and so she was getting pretty hysterical, and then my preceptor, who I think is not like that, and I think is very uncomfortable with a lot of emotion, walked away from her and just left. And I was like, oh my goodness. Right? So I went and I grabbed her hands and I'm like, all we're doing is breathing. We are just breathing. That is all you need to do. Let's breathe together. We are just breathing. That's all there is. And I just kind of kept repeating, like, breathe in, breathe out. And I was really present with her. That person, I think I did right by. But anyway, so like in the ways that I was good, I was good. But oh man, like I don't know, they had some good complaints against me of like being like, you're not professional enough. And I'm like, well, I did have that drug reference, so Damn. Yeah, that was a rough one. But anyways, point is that um I think like this is important to realize, and I've learned this about myself, is that I'm really sensitive to my environment, and I can my environment can really shape what I am and my behavior, and um that's a little bit like scary, I guess, to think. Now going back to the Kai example of that hitchhiking guy, well, um I can imagine like when you're being transient and you're going from place to place and couch surfing, but also sometimes not having place to sleep, and it's like more of a wild experience. You might not actually be in the wild, like somewhere in the bush, but you are sort of in the wild in another sense. And I think that like your animal instincts are more prominent when you're there, you know? And I think that he woke up, like people say, like, why did he kill that lawyer? And I'm like, imagine like waking up in an unfamiliar environment that you don't like, right? That you feel claustrophobic in, and these like feelings of discomfort are increasing. And there's also like a certain level of resentment too, to like this is safety, but I hate it and I don't want to be here, but I'm doing this so that I'm warm. And like feeling like it's kind of like the feeling of like if you've ever slept in a shelter at night for whatever reason, like being sort of like scared, not really trusting the people around you, and not liking the physical building that you're in and the energy that it's carrying, can be really really awful. It can be a really scary feeling. And I think that if you are living more of a wild experience, your wild instincts are going to be more out there. And I think that he kind of snapped. That's what I think. Like I was meditating on that and I was like, "Oh yeah, we really are animals." And that there are like varying degrees of how much animal we are. I mean, we're always animals. Even the most tame person is an animal, but like it's easy to forget. Like I think, anyways, I forget that like, and I think that I tend to think that I'm dealing with like in the same reference frame as everyone else, when in reality there's lots of different reference frames, like infinite, and you don't really know what reference frame you're working with. Or yeah, so like I kind of feel that whole story was really sad. That was a really sad story. And he even said in his interview, like, no matter what you do, you're lovable. It's almost as if some part of him knew his own fate. Like, if we agree to like these major events before they happen, when before we're alive, and like maybe he was fated to end up in prison, and maybe he knew that, like, not consciously, but maybe some part of him did kind of know that, and that's one of the reasons why he said things like that, like no matter what you do, you're lovable. I mean, he said that. That was the first thing he said to the world. And then look how the story ended. I mean, is he still lovable? Yeah, of course. He is. Cuz I agree with that. No matter what you do, you're a lovable human being. Love is not dependent on your behavior even when things are evil. It's I don't know, like it's just really kind of um why do people deserve love? Um I think people deserve love because they exist. Like because you are this universe, and like I if people don't deserve love just by the fact that they exist, then that would mean that the universe doesn't spin on an axiom of love and joy, and on something quite different. And I don't want to believe that. So and in fact I don't, because the universe is this ultimate free lunch. Like pretty sure God actually does love us, like God being the universe. Like I think the universe does love itself and doesn't want bad things for anyone. Like, there's no such thing as punishment, I don't think, being dealt out by God. I really don't think so. Yeah. I think God is, like, there for you, like, in the best possible sense that a being could be there for you. I believe that. Yeah. Anyways, I have COVID. Um, and I'm sick, and also I don't know, like I come in and out of like deciding what I want to share with the internet and whatnot. Like I still am on the page of like trying to preserve me via YouTube. Um and uh yeah, I keep a journal, a daily journal as well, but yeah, I'm still like kind of on like the like I want to make these videos and I don't know why. Like mostly to preserve myself. Also, like I've looked at common themes in my life and I think one of my schemas is not feeling like I was heard by the people around me. And that has been a pattern in my life and I'm like, "Oh, that's what this is about." Like I want to be heard, you know? And I guess this is my way of telling myself that and also the universe itself. Yeah. So I realized that about myself and it's amazing that like yeah, like it's hard to like learn what the underlying beliefs are to oneself. Sometimes it's easier to see what underlying beliefs other people carry, but I think it's hard to see them in yourself. And I think my underlying belief about myself, one of them was something along the lines of not deserving to be heard because I wasn't heard. Which no, everyone deserves to be heard. Which is kind of like leads me to another point, which is really like this video is getting too long. But another point is that I don't believe in censorship, and I don't think that the internet or anyone should be censored. Which is kind of controversial because when it comes to, and I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong, I could be wrong. Like I'm not 100% certain because what I'm saying could have really bad results, and I don't want to be responsible for bad results. But I don't. Let me just get my thought out and then I'll might retract it later on. But I think that nothing should be censored, including hate speech. I think the onus with like whatever you take in via the internet or TV or social media, the onus is on you. What you do with that. Um, so like I don't think that you can say like with Trump or Kanye West, like being censored. I don't think that that's right. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think, and I've talked to my friends about this, and their arguments were like, "Oh, but like dumb people are dumb, and they're going to take that, and they're going to then do violent crimes." And I'm like, yeah, but that's them doing it. That's not the person who put the like if you consider them putting a seed out there and then that person takes the seed and then turns it into something evil, like I don't see how the person who said what they said on the internet is culpable. Is that the how do you pronounce that? But nobody agreed with me in my friend group at all, so I'm like maybe I'm wrong. But I don't believe in censorship at all. I think the internet should be a wild west. I think that and you know there is the dark web, so it kind of is. All you have to do is download the onion to get there, but I don't recommend it. Um so like be careful what you take in. And I'm talking to myself primarily, like to my own advice. Like I don't like giving advice to strangers on the internet. So when I give advice it's mostly to myself. But like what you take in does kind of shape your psyche in some way. And I don't want my psyche to be shaped in a way that I don't like or leads me down paths that I don't want to go. So I'm kind of back to like no YouTube, no Instagram, no TikTok because I don't like I don't know, I just want to hear myself, like which makes sense because for somebody who felt a lot of their life that they weren't being heard, makes sense that I'm like, okay, time to really listen to myself and introspect. Um so yeah. I just like I don't know. I'm kind of scared of the world around me. Like on the one hand, the universe is like this wonderful free lunch, but on the other hand, there's lots of scary things, like the government, scary, making decisions, scary, people really just using their power to maintain their power in the guise of helping others. That's really scary and hypocritical. I mean, like, and then there's all this like one-on-one crime too that's like really scary to deal with and how women in general are treated. Um, or at least some women are treated by some men. And And then like there's all this like really woke stuff, which is also really scary. And you can't really even talk about it because you're gonna be labeled something that you don't want to be labeled. That's scary. Like I said, I didn't like censorship. I mean it. Um, I don't think children should be getting sex changes before puberty. I think that that is like any procedure, medical procedure that has permanent results probably should wait until your brain is fully developed before making those choices. But at the same time, who am I to say that because it's your body? Except I don't really trust I don't know. Like I guess that's for like the parent to decide. But like big pharma and doctors and stuff and politics from what I've seen and what my impression is currently, they're not on your side. They're not for your well being. And they kind of sound like they do. Like they kind of seem like they want you to believe that they are. Elon Musk is the same thing. Like kind of seems like he wants you to believe that he's on your side. Like look at me, I'm saving the planet. Um well, there's still lots of problems, Elon. So with all your power that you have, I'm not seeing a lot of positive results personally. So if you're saving the planet, I think you're getting a failing grade currently. Um, and I feel sorry for Grimes. Like, can can I point out that you had a baby by surrogacy with Grimes, but 2 months prior got someone else pregnant? So did Grimes know that you had that another one was pregnant before? I mean, maybe you didn't even know, but seems dodgy. Seems very, very dodgy. Um, and I don't think it's a good idea to mess around with children like that. I'm like, I don't know. And then like when you Google that stuff, you can't find anything. Nobody's talking about it. Is it because you censor the internet? Well, I don't like censorship. Like I really don't. It's just a way to control populations. Like yeah, there's always gonna be the crazies, sure, but it's up to you to decide what you take in and what you adopt as your belief. So, yeah, like please don't adopt my beliefs as your own. Think for yourself. That is the best message I could ever put out there to the human collective is think for yourself and be true to yourself because that's where your true value actually is. Every single person on this planet has something unique that they can contribute that nobody else can. But if you follow somebody else's dogma, it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you a hell of a lot longer to find out what your truth is and to give your gift to the world. Because everyone's a gift to this world. Everyone that lives here is. Alright, that was some positivity amongst my COVID realness. And I don't like I don't know, like this idea of like being held to what you say as if it's always you and stagnant is obviously not true. So like if I ever say whatever I say in the moment is the most up to date information. Let me just say that. For my future babies. Um yeah, my future babies, I love you. And I'm doing my best I can to amass enough money so that I can take care of you without working full time. I do not, please God, help me to figure this one out. I do not want to work full time while taking care of my babies. I really don't. It's not, it's not where I want to go. That's not what I want my life to look like, and I really want my children to have the best possible start they can. Uh, okay. Uh, well, good luck, Nicole. You're a winner, and you know it. Okay. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Bye. I'll be feeling better soon. I hope. Okay. Talk soon. Bye bye. Bye bye. I don't want to say goodbye, but I will say goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh, I'm like one of those mothers that at the daycare who keeps waving to her kid until her kid's completely hysterical because she doesn't want to say goodbye either. Goodbye. Oh, I'm going to miss you. Are you crying on the other end of this computer? Bye bye. Bye bye. Mommy misses you. God, the best thing to do when you're leaving your kid at daycare is to say goodbye and get the heck out of there. And then they don't have time to get upset. And then they're distracted by the toys and the other playing children and they're fine. Yeah. All right. Bye. Bye bye. Bye for now.